Welcome to the PFL Weekly. Andrew Montanez here, sitting on in for light heavyweight PFL fighter Sean O'Connell. I'm joined with fight legend and PFL commentator Bas Rutten.
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm here. Good. Nice. Thank you for that introduction. That was riveting, man. My heart rate's all the way up. My adrenaline is flying.
Good.
Yeah.
Do it again. One more.
It's a great way to start a podcast.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about PFL. We're going to focus this week on the heavyweight and featherweight divisions.
Yeah, PFL 8, right?
Yeah, we have the October 5th card coming up in New Orleans, and guys are going after $1 million.
Man, can you imagine?
I can.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money. Think about it. All the fighters. No, think about these fighters: Marlon Moraes and Branch, David Branch. All these guys who just left, and now they figured out that they could make $1 million. They could have gone to the UFC a year later, right, and take this season with them. But
kicking themselves, maybe.
I think so.
They are having some success. Marlon Moraes is maybe one fight away from a UFC title shot. Obviously, he finished Aljamain Sterling and Jimmy Rivera.
That's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. So it shows that the skill level in PFL or originally World Series of Fighting pretty high.
I think so too. And you see Gaethje though, now he got hit. And I warned him so many times before that. Even when he worked at the World Series of Fighting, I said, "Man, you got to change your style." He says, "No, it's the way I like to fight. I just want to go like this." And I go, "Yeah, but you want to start a family. You want to have kids. You want to be able to talk to the kids.
You want to win every fight too, because sometimes you have to switch up your style and fight differently."
The guy is such a great wrestler. If he would simply take somebody down, ground and pound him, he's got so much power in his hands. That's it. But that's one of those things. Benji Radek was one of those fighters. Yep. Super great wrestler. I saw him schooling like really good fighters in wrestling. And his hands, that was the only guy who would hurt me on my focus mitts. He hit really freaking hard. But every time when I told him, I said, Benji, take him down. Why would you try a slugfest to slug it out? That's rolling the dice, because the way you are fighting right in front of your opponent, it's not a smart thing to do. Once you take somebody down, like he did with Murillo Ninja Rua, he took him down, knocked him out one shot. I said, do that. Leather, rinse, repeat. But unfortunately, sometimes he didn't listen. When he did, though, he looked really good.
He looked good. And like we mentioned, the guys left the UFC, and now PFL has started something that they're trying to emulate regular professional sports.
And it's a season. We have a season. That's the thing, with the whole playoffs. And we're in the playoffs right now, actually, which is going to start October 5th, which is not next week, but the week after that.
We're in the playoffs. So October 5th, we have heavyweight fights. You have Francimar Barroso, our #1 seed. He looked amazing. 2 finishes. Got himself 12 points. But one of the fighters we want to talk to, we have Jack May taking on Alex Nicholson. That's the 4 and 5 seeded fight.
Yep.
It's usually the kind of the closest one. Those are usually the 2 most evenly matched matchups in like wrestling tournaments. And we have Alex on the line.
The Spartan. How is Sparta?
Ow.
Hey. How you doing, Alex? How's training going, buddy?
What? I'm doing great, man. I'm walking out of American Top Team Orlando right now. I just got some wrestling work in with an Olympic level wrestler, man. So it's always good to get thrown around for an hour.
Okay, so you think May is going to go for a takedown? I don't think so, right? It's going to be a striking match between the two of you.
I really doubt that. I'm getting ready for Francisco in the second round of the playoffs. I'm ready for my second fight of the night. I already got something for Jack lined up.
Look at this. Look at this smart guy. I didn't know that the Spartans were actually pretty smart, right?
Yeah.
They did everything at the time already. They were strong. That was a strong group of people.
That was 300, right?
I think
Exactly.
the old expression is being dumb like a fox, right?
I don't know about that. Maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good expression. You see, I heard it for the first time. It took a little bit for me to get, but that's so smart as a fox. Oh, look at you, the wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're already preparing yourself for fight number 2. Very cool.
The art of deception.
What is going on with you guys, with you and Jack May? What is the beef between you? Because, I have to say, I saw you guys sitting downstairs, and I believe you guys were talking to each other. Yet when you were talking to us, both of you were like spitting out like, oh, I'm going to trash him, I'm going to knock him out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So what's going on?
I didn't have any issues with him. We were supposed to originally fight each other and I know I knocked out a guy who broke his leg in a fight, and some things were said online, and I actually approached him about it because I feel like I'm an old school, grown, good old American boy, man. Like, if you got an issue with me, I want to approach you. We're going to discuss it. So I did that, and he didn't really seem to like it, but he didn't really say anything to me right then and there. And I mean, I try to stay professional with it, but I'm the type of guy where if I feel disrespected right there in that moment, we don't necessarily have to be in a cage or doing it for sport. We can get our problem solved right then and there. And he wasn't interested in all that, so he walked away, which is obviously the smart thing to do. But October 5th, we're going to get in there, and there'll be nothing left to talk about. I'm preparing myself to be the best version of myself that I can be. You know, I went out there last time a little bit overzealous and expecting it just to end easy, but you have to go out there and make the fight end. You can't just fluff through it, man. You got to get the job done every single time. So I'm preparing myself to be the best me that night, October 5th, there in New Orleans, man. And me and Jack will settle all that. Doesn't matter what anybody said or anything that's been done. But I don't have any big issues or hate toward him in any way. You know, I shook his hand. He told me he's got kids, told me why he's doing this just before we both went out there and lost last time. So we sat there and talked, saw the doctor together, and both lost. And after I shook his hand, man, there's nothing. We're going to get in there and try to hurt each other the best we can.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I know you're obviously looking past Jack May. Obviously, you said you're preparing for the second fight. How do you approach fighting 2 times in one night? How does that affect your training and your mindset going into October 5th?
I mean, obviously, you want to get through that first one as quick and injury-free as possible. But which is a funny thing to say because you could win a decision and be injury-free, getting a takedown, maybe laying on the guy. Or you could go out there and just knock him out in 10 seconds and be injury-free. So I'm approaching 2 fights in one night the same way I approach 1 fight in one night. It's just get the job done and then worry about what's next.
Right.
I feel like, you know, Bas is a legend in doing this, what I'm about to do. And I think he'd agree with me when it's just, you never know what's going to happen when, you know, the cage door locks and the ref says go. So if I see an early opportunity, I'm going to take it and seize it and get it done. If I got to be smart, I got to be smart. I mean, you guys saw me against Felipe. I got a little too crazy. He wanted to sit back and counter. And if a guy's good at that, you can't rush it. You got to take your time. So whatever is open is what I'm going to jump on, man. And I think that's, you know, seizing those opportunities will be the way to get through it. But anybody who's seen me fight knows I'm ready to fight more than once in one night, baby.
Yeah, well, look at your record. I mean, if you have no wins coming by way of decision, 11 knockouts and 1 submission. You stopped every single person. So yeah, but
Yeah.
You just said that you were too zealous. You know that you were too overeager. What did you change that in training? Were there more things that you saw from your last fight that you said, you know, I need to work on that?
Yeah, I did. Every time I spar now, I try to not get hit at all because, you know, my argument in losing against Felipe, I say, oh, damn, Mergliata, you stopped the fight too early. And that whole week, I was blaming him. But I can't blame him. I have to blame myself. I allowed Felipe to drop me with a crazy shot. He put me in a bad position, a bad enough position to where the ref had to make that decision. And if I never allowed him to do that, then I'd still, you know, have more points going in or whatever. I'd be fighting somebody else. But that doesn't matter. It's my fault that I lost. And I have to get better. I got to move. I got to slip. I got to roll. I got to pivot. You know, I got to pop back out and get back to my basics. And I've been doing that, man. Whether I'm sparring with an amateur at the gym or it's me and Jacare Souza trying to take each other's head off. I'm trying to hit, not get hit, and be explosive. And if I can continue to go out there and do that, I'll be a millionaire by the end of this year.
That would be something. What did your father, Mark, say about it? I mean, he's as tough as they come, right? Former Marine, pro kickboxer himself. What did he say after the last fight?
He just said that I lost my cool. I got overzealous and I didn't keep my range, man. He said I got to be smarter. And, you know, I agree with everything he said. You just got to be smarter, man. Got to be smarter.
Yep.
Yeah, you look great in that the first 2 rounds. Obviously, the judges had you winning the first 2 rounds of that fight, and then you obviously got caught. How do you approach fighting a guy that's 6'8" and that tall? Do you go down to like a basketball court and grab some people? Like, where do you find a training partner that is that tall that can emulate that type of reach and size. Obviously, because you're one of the lighter fighters in the weight class.
I mean, I like that he's tall. I like the fact that he's tall. I fought very tall. I fought Chase Sherman, who I think 6'7" or 6'6", and he actually beat Jack. And then I fought 6'6" Ronnie Phillips. So I've been in there with tall guys, and they're not as powerful. You know, he's tall and he's lanky. I think when I grab him, he'll be surprised how strong I am, considering I'm 220-pound guy. These big guys think they can grab me, but I like fighting a tall guy, man. I mean, I saw what Francisco did. I'm not afraid when Jack wants to try to exchange. I don't even care if he's listening right now. I'll pick him up, I'll dump him on his neck, I'll beat on him and choke him out, just like that dude did. And I got a well-rounded game just because I don't always use it. I try to get the knockout, but I'm not afraid to snap him down on the ground and go for the submission, man. His tall, long body is great for that. So I'm just going to go out there and start painting my picture and let the masterpiece come, baby. I mean, I'm excited, bro.
Yeah.
I've been running around my town telling everybody I'm going to be a millionaire, dude. I go on runs. I just scream at people. NBC Sports, October 5th, baby. I'm hyper, man. I'm excited, and I can't wait to go out there and do this. And you're going to see his 6'8" booty laid out flat across that canvas. I'm going to help him up. Tell him God bless him. See him next season, baby. I'm going for another million next season. I'm ready.
What would you buy, by the way?
You better hope your fucking mouth can cash that check.
There we go. I was just going to say, hey, we have your opponent. Jack May is on the line. Welcome, Jack. What a surprise.
Yeah, I've been listening to this fucking talks for a while now.
So, response, please. We would love to know the response.
A rebuttal.
Yep. Well, my tall, lanky ass is going to put that little fucking dork to sleep.
I can't hear y'all anymore.
Yeah, because we don't give a fuck about you or what you got to say no more. So.
I can hear you now.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Listen in, okay?
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah. I already heard what you had to say.
Okay, I'll give you your turn. Let's go. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you got.
Hey, I'm not weak. I'm not no fucking punk. You're not going to sit there and try and talk a bunch of shit like you're going to fucking dominate me. And you're not going to fucking... There's not going to happen, Playboy. It's just not going to happen. I've listened to you run your fucking mouth. I've heard what you had to say. Me and you, when we square up in that cage on October 5th, you're not going to cash that check, bro. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, it always sounds good, Jack.
I know. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was listening to you fucking run your mouth just now.
How come you didn't have anything to say? How come you didn't have anything to say when I was standing in front of you, man? You want to shake my hand and tell me, God bless me?
Listen. I'm not the one on social media talking about how I'm ducking and dodging. When you want to see you want to be my fucking friend. Don't act like I came to you and wanted to be your fucking buddy, right? I ain't got nothing to say to you. I'm not trying to be friends with you. I've read and seen all the shit you've got to say on social media. It's just fuel for the fire. But don't act like this is fucking a one-way street where I want to be your buddy. I don't fucking like you.
Oh, man.
Plain and simple.
Then why were you nice to me? Why were you nice to me face-to-face interaction?
How are you going to
nice to me face-to-face
reversal bullshit?
Oh,
Did you
man.
not come and try and sit next to me? Did you not, God bless, go back and be with your family and all this bullshit? I ain't got nothing to say to you, bro.
Hey, and I mean that. I mean that.
I put my fucking hands on your face, you're going to feel it.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All you got to say, or you're going to get locked in the fucking cage with me October 5th, baby.
Exactly. Get your fucking weight up, homeboy. When I put my goddamn hands on you, you're going to sleep.
You're so angry. You should go train, because I just trained my ass off, and I'll wrap up a picture all out right now, boy.
You idiot.
Ah! He's so angry. Why are you so angry, dog? You're lucky you saw
I don't like you. I don't like you. That's plain and simple.
You don't gotta like me.
I don't like you.
I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Fuck you.
Ass, boy. That's
Fuck
cute.
You.
That's cute.
All right,
you gonna
guys.
see me October 5th, boy?
October 5th
yeah,
is
I'm
going
gonna see you. I'm gonna see you. You keep stressing. You're gonna know that you in there with me. Trust that.
All right, guys. Ching, ching. I'm jumping in here. Alex, we're going to let you go, brother. We'll see you in 2 weeks from now, I guess. You both guys going to see each other.
Baby Jack, you sound like you're losing your cool over there, dog.
And then we're going to talk a little bit more with Jack.
Hey, and I mean it. God bless you. God bless you, bro. you're going to have that family to go back to after I knock you out, boy. Good night.
Get the fuck out of here. Get him the fuck off.
All right.
Woo!
Thanks, Alex.
Get him the fuck off.
All right,
I'm going to get
Alex.
off on your face, boy.
Take care, brother.
Woo!
We got to
God
go.
bless you.
Cut him off. All right, Jack.
Isn't that great
Wow.
that two guys can be cordial when they talk to each other? They have a fight October 5th. It's absolute gentlemen just talking to each other. It's the evolution of mixed martial arts. So we have Jack May still on the line, our 6'8", the tallest heavyweight in the PFL roster, and our number 4 seed in the heavyweight division. Welcome to the show. You made quite an entrance.
Yeah, well, it all reverts back to when they first announced the original lineup for PFL, and me and him were scheduled to fight, and PFL had changed the lineup. You guys don't know how the first card shuffled around a whole bunch. And this clown was talking about how I was sucking him, how I didn't want to fight him, so they gave me a new opponent. But everybody knows that ain't the fucking truth, and and I just don't like him. I still like him personally. I don't respect him. I just don't. And for him to sit there and try and act like I was fucking trying to be friendly with him when I was just like blowing this fucking kid off, trying to just stay away from him because I knew one thing would just make me flip. And he's trying to be all friendly and shit. And I told you guys that in the interview when we did the media shit before the last fight. This dude's running his mouth on social media, and then when he wants to be all friendly and shit. That's not cool with that, man. You be you. Be yourself 100%. If you want to run your mouth and talk shit, then when you see that person man-to-man, face-to-face, then you be the same fucking person. Don't change up and try and be friendly and try and be my friend, because I ain't with that shit. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make $1 million.
That's it. And I can't wait for it, because now you're really tuning up this fight. I can't wait to see you guys fight. I hope it's going to stay... normal at the weigh-in. I think the weigh-in is going to be funny now. I'm going to attend the weigh-ins this time as well. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, you make sure Ray Seffel's in the middle of that one because it's gonna get heated.
Hey, Jack, what is your game plan with the 2 fights in one night? How do you approach it? Do you say, okay, I'm going to just forget about the second fight? Sure, I'm going to prepare a little bit already because you never know, right, if we go to the next round. But once the fight is the fight, are you going to fight differently, tentative, or you say, no, I'm just going to fight like I normally fight?
Yeah, no, the way I'm already down to like 250 pounds, so we've been really pushing the strength and conditioning and the cardio aspect of things. So I'll come in rather light, tall and lanky, however you want to call it. Listen, I have
Can't
power.
let it go.
Ask the 10 guys that I fought if I have power, that I beat, if I have power. I'm a heavyweight. I'm a big heavyweight. I'm a strong heavyweight. So that whole tall, lanky, bullshit with him about how he's going to grab me and snatch me up and do all that. Well, come on, man. This isn't playground. We're not in the playground. You know what I mean? You're not going to manhandle anybody. But I'm going out there to finish. It's a 2-round fight, the first round, the first fight. So 2 rounds. So get busy, get after it. And then you just got to recover. And I think that's where your cardio comes into play. Your recovery's got to be on point, and then you go out and listen. It's a golden opportunity to win, to punch ticket to get to Madison Square Garden, to win $1 million. I don't know if you need any more motivation than that. You know what I mean? I got a wife and I got 2 little girls. So, you grab your balls and you go out in that second fight and you get busy and you fight. You fight to the death. I've already made my peace with God. So whatever happens, happens. But I'm coming to fight. And we've been working on a lot more because I think with the Barroso fight, it just goes to show you that even a big guy like that's a striker, he doesn't want to strike. They just want to go to the ground and they want to do all that shit. So,
well, if
I gotta be prepared for everything. I can't think I'm going out there with these striker only guys that they're going to stand and bang.
Well, the thing with Barroso is if he's going to win, if he's going to beat Copeland, and you beat Alex Nicholson, then you're going to face him again. And I guess there's not going to be a single kick at the time. It's going to be more striking with the hands. Yeah.
Bas, isn't that a beautiful thing, man? That's a beautiful thing. When they announced the matchups, I was like, look at this. This is beautiful. Copeland's a great guy. We're actually friends. He's a family man. I've already beat him. But if things don't go his way that night and I get Barroso and I win, then I get Barroso again. So it's like it's a good storyline.
Yeah, it seemed to really work out for you pretty well in this. When I look at this bracket, you get the guy that was talking trash to you in Alex Nicholson. Then if you win that fight, you're gonna get a rematch either way, either fighting a guy that you already beat or getting a chance to avenge a loss. How do you feel about the 2-round fights? Now, if you win, basically the first round gets weighed heavily, and you're someone that has, I think you have like 14 finishes or so. So how does that play a factor into your game plan?
I fight to finish. You know, that's just me. I'm not here. I don't like to drag it out. I don't want to be in there for 15 minutes. Now, fortunate enough, it's only a 2-round fight, so I feel like you can push the pace, and you don't really have to worry about gassing out. And I feel like with this dude talking shit, I'm not gonna go out there and blow my load over some angry shit because I don't like the guy. Like, I'm a veteran of this sport. It's fuel to the fire. It makes you train harder. It's easier to want to, fuck someone up because you don't like them because of the things that they say to do. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to let rage overcome what my job is, and that is to go out there and just win these fights. The 2-minute fight, I love that. First off, with Nicholson, boy, I love that. I've been losing sleep over it. I'm so excited.
What did Coach Colin Oyama, what did he change for you in the last fight? I mean, I know he worked hard. I know you already talked about stamina, but is there footwork? Is there something else that he instilled in you that you said, okay, you really need to have to work on that? Because you told us in prior interviews that he made you much better.
Yes. I think what we did was we just tapped back into that athlete. I think that, like in the Coachman fight, if you saw my footwork and stuff and how I was able to angle off and I was able to use my footwork, we just tapped back into like being an athlete. So, being a basketball player, I was a Division I basketball player, highly recruited. I played overseas basketball, pro basketball. I played in the D League. I did all that shit. You know what I mean? So like I was able to compete at a high level in that sport. So we just tapped back into just being an athlete, because I don't think the 6'260 guy moves like I do, and so we just needed to bring that back out of me, which we did.
Are you still playing any basketball as part of cardio for this training camp?
No, man. Usually I don't take too many risks like when in extracurricular activities like that, like during training camp. I don't want to roll an ankle or do anything stupid. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a guy that doesn't play, pickleball nice and easy. I mean, I'm there to win. I play to win. So just no injuries, man. No stupid stuff.
Hey, you were just talking about your daughters. I have 3 daughters. How old are yours?
I got a 4-year-old and I got a 7-month-old.
Wow, gee, that's pretty close together.
Yeah,
They're very young yet.
We got a 7-month-old right now in the house, man. So she's keeping us up at night.
So there's some rumors going around. Did you get thrown off of any basketball teams? What did that lead you to your fight career? This whole thing of you getting thrown off of basketball teams, was that part of the D or the G League, whatever they're calling it these days, or was that during college?
Yeah, man, I've swung at coaches. I've gotten in a lot of fights. I got in a lot of trouble. I was just fortunate enough that like my skills were wanted in other places, so I was always picked up. I went to the Division I school in Atlantic 10. Then I went to the #1 junior college in the country, and then I went back to Division I. Got in some trouble there, and then finished my career off at a D2 school only because I had to play that final year of eligibility. But I don't think I should have been a fighter. I shouldn't have been a basketball player. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Well, one quick question: you ever break a backboard dunking?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that means you did multiple. A couple of times.
I've done that a couple of times. Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I've always wanted to dunk, but
yeah,
let alone that. Well, thanks.
I'll give you a boost.
I'm like 5'8" on a good day, so I need a good boost. Yeah, I need like a double boost. If you saw how tall I'm on a booster chair here in the studio, So, hey, well, thank you for joining the show, joining me and Bas. We're very excited to see you fight on October 5th. We'll both be there. We're very excited about this fight. We're actually going to go to the weigh-in, which might be the pre-fight fight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it as well. Right on, Jack. Thanks a lot, brother.
All right.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Bye.
Yo.
That's how you hype a fight, right?
That's how and it's true. It's real, So this is not fake. This is not like made up for the people to see if it gets some more viewers to the screens, attached to the screens. No, this is real. This started a while ago, and in New York, that's where it started. They were supposed to fight each other first, but then there was a weight difference more than 25 pounds, and in New York, that's not allowed when you have to when your opponent weighs more than 25 pounds, even in the heavyweight division. Yep. So then it was mixed up, got a different opponent. That's where Nicholson pulled off that really beautiful flying knee to Jake Yoon. And that became a highlight. That became a clip by itself.
We've had quite a bit of flying knees this season. It's been a lot of highlight knockouts. But we want to bring on another guest. It's just guest after guest after guest. We're going to bring in the MMA coach for Lance Palmer and Vinny Magalhaes, the #1 seed in the light heavyweight division.
That's
it.
Got
Eric Nixick of Extreme Couture on the line. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, guys?
Doing great, brother. How you doing?
Doing well, staying busy. It's crazy out here, I guess.
How are the guys looking? Vinny and Lance.
Everybody's looking great, and we also have Francis here at the gym as well. So we got a packed house right now with PFL guys getting ready to jump in this tournament here soon. So it's going to be crazy.
You said Francimar's at the gym now?
Yeah, Francimar's been here for the start of the tournament. He's been here for the last 6 months now.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Barroso.
Francimar Barroso. So you got 3 guys you're training for the playoffs here.
That's it. The focus is on Lance and on Francimar right now, I guess.
Yeah, me more mostly is Lance and Vinny. We have a couple other guys that actually just popped in the gym the last month. I think Johnny Case is going to wrap up his camp with us as well. And then Ramsey Nijam hit me up, and he wants to come in and finish up camp with the Extreme Couture also. So we're going to be quite busy with the PFL guys.
What's the game planning going to be for the guys? Preparing them for two fights in one night.
It's been kind of tough because with Lance, obviously we have Koga. We know we have the first fight, and then gearing into the second fight could be either Harrison or Bereza. I believe I'm saying his name correct. So you're looking at 3 different styles right away. I think for us is mainly 80% focusing on what we want to do and how we want to implement our game plan, no matter who the opponent is. So there will be some gamemanship, I think, coming into that first fight, knowing that the winner of round 1 is going to have the upper hand. Winning round 1, you basically win 2 rounds. So we want to try to put guys away early, get them out, get some rest, and be ready to go, and then know who we have to fight. So just watching a lot of tape on Harrison and Bereza, not looking past Koga, but just knowing kind of what we need to do once we get that other opponent line.
Then you have, I guess you have two #1 seeds and a #2 seed you're training for this this tournament. How do you do? Let's say the first round ends and it's a close round. As a coach, are you leaning more towards that they lost the round to try to make up for that, so they don't lose that 2-round decision?
Absolutely, and whether it's a 3-round fight or however, I mean, I'm always erring on the side of caution. I mean, we've all seen how many times we've got guys robbed in this sport. So in my mind, if any round's close, you got to make sure that you're telling your guy that we have to go. We can't just sit around and wait, especially in the format of this tournament. There's got to be a sense of urgency. You don't want to leave that to the judges and somebody else's opinion. So in my mind, I want to 10-8 guys every round. I want to demoralize people every round. I want to make sure that we're putting exclamation points when the round's over, that there's no question in our mind, or trying to put guys away.
And you were talking about Max Koga, and you said, we kind of know what he's going to do. What do you expect from him then?
I think he's going to really try to use his length, stay long, and keep Lance away from him. And that's inherently what happens a lot of times when you guys see Lance fight. Guys run from him, guys move. They don't want to get taken down. So the reality of it is we need to start looking to pace ourselves a little bit, draw this guy in a little bit, get in some of those exchanges. We know that, get him in close to where we can either A, cut off the cage, or we can get a good shot to put the guy on his back.
Get that Lance Palmer wrestling against a guy that...
That's
Lance
right.
Palmer wrestling.
17 career finishes from Max Koga. So I definitely think the wrestling is going to be the thing that makes the difference here. We saw a lot of great striking. Even in the loss that Koga had to Valiev, he actually outstruck him 50-45. So definitely something to be wary of.
He was very good in that fight.
And Alexander Becerra, you know, I mean, that was a very close fight. The first time they fought, Lance won that fight, right?
Harrison fight.
In the Harrison fight, yeah. No, okay, I'm mixing two things up already because I thought, no, it's no, I'm mixing Harrison up. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, no, but eventually that fight will come anyway.
Becerra actually fought in, I believe, in Titan a few years ago, and that was actually a very close fight, from my understanding. And Becerra actually got hurt in that fight. From my understanding, from what I watched, he was winning that fight the whole time. So I feel like those two right there, I mean, they're going to have a little 2-round war. So, I mean, we're sitting pretty, in my opinion.
Yeah, he got very happy when I asked him, when I told him in the ring interview, I said, hey, listen, you're lined up with Andre Harrison. And this guy was shouting from joy. He goes like, oh, yeah, right on, because he wanted payback.
I bet.
Were you guys able to find that footage from, I think it's Titan FC 41 where they fought for the title? Was that available on like Fight Pass or something? That's probably a good matchup to look at, because Harrison, obviously the wrestler, and Becerra, flying knee striker, bird dancer after the fight.
Yeah, I actually found some of it on MMA Core not too long ago, and then the next time I went to look again, it was taken down. So I don't know what happened there, but I actually did get a peek of it, and then when Lance got back into town, I plugged it in, and then we couldn't download it again. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, Lance is going to have a chance then too to fight Harrison again, and if everything goes well.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's going to be something. What do you focus the most on when you train your guys? I know it's with everybody is different, but what would you say is your specialty? Is it striking? Is it grappling, wrestling, or is the whole shebang? Of course, mixed martial arts. You say I focus on everything.
Well, I mean, you know, Bas, I'm a Randy guy. I've came underneath Randy for the last 12 years. But Randy's always been a guy who emphasizes me having everything from the feet to the floor. And then also being a Coach Follis guy, I like to try to delve in a little bit into that mindset and being around my guys and kind of submerging myself into their camp, into their home life, and understanding who they are. If I only just focus on just their fighting career, I only really know 1/3 of my fighter. So I want to know how their home life is. I want to know how their family, their job, if they have a job outside of fighting, you know. And I just need to kind of immerse myself in who they are and give them the extra things that they need. Lance, for example, I mean, here's a guy who was a high-level wrestler at Ohio State. He came from a great camp out of Team Alpha Male. There really wasn't much we had to do more with Lance, but mostly just refine and support, I guess you could say, and help him get where he needs to be. In my mind, Lance has brought so much more to the Extreme Couture as far as a championship mindset and setting a good tone and a standard and example. So the small little things for Lance really is just me kind of just staying on him, checking in with him, making sure his weight's good, seeing how he feels on day-to-day basis, and almost just a support system for him. You know, this guy's a champion already, and we just got to kind of just harness that and take care of him.
What is the hardest thing you would say in the gym from fighters? Is it when fighters don't listen, or they don't show up on time, or you guys got everything military style locked up?
No, you know how it goes, Bas. It's always tough, and I feel like when we kind of had that revamping of Extreme Couture, when Coach Follis came in, and you know, we always talked about setting a standard, and the guys that follow that standard, they really uphold the standard in the gym. It starts off with that, and you nailed it: showing up on time, being prepared. You know, that to me, whether it's minuscule or not, people might think like, oh, well, showing up on time to make you a champion. It actually does. It builds championship mentality. So that's kind of what we run with, is just that standard, being good teammates. You know, remember way back when in Extreme Couture, when you know, it was Jay Heron and Pyle and all those guys. I mean, there were wars. There were gym wars.
Yep.
I feel like now we're more of a team, more cohesive. They're taking care of each other better. We understand that we're not getting paid in the gym. We're getting paid in the ring or in the cage. So take care of one another. You're only as good as your guys you surround yourself with and your teammates. So I feel like that's kind of something that I had playing football. I didn't come from an MMA background. I came from a football background. So I feel like I try to bring that into the gym, you know, take care of one another, look at the guy next to you, make sure that they're okay, and we're all going to thrive.
Nice.
How is the number 1 seed at heavyweight looking, Francimar Barroso?
Unreal. I mean, he's the nicest guy you're ever going to meet, you know, and you start talking to him and you shake his hand. You feel like the guy's going to grab your elbow when he shakes your hand. But, you know, we have some really, really good heavyweights in the gym right now. We have Tim Johnson coming in. We obviously have Roy Nelson, you know, Ray's in there every day mixing it up. So he has a really good core group of heavyweights. In my mind, it's very rare in a lot of MMA gyms. It's hard to find good heavyweights that actually want to come in and get the work in. So by doing so, by having his support system of heavyweights, this guy's just been flourishing. And lately, the last couple of weeks, you know, I saw him in the cage this past week. He had some really, really sharp rounds. He's mixing it up well. He's not really focusing on taking guys down, but he's using his level changes and he's mixing everything up to where, you know, he's going to keep guys guessing on whether he's going to throw overhands, he's going to put guys on their back, you know. So I'm really looking forward to this guy.
Well, he's a number 1 seed. Do you see him winning this tournament and just being the guy that runs the division over the next couple of years?
You know, I really do. I feel like the move from 205 up to heavyweight has really benefited him a lot. From fighting in the UFC at 205, now he doesn't have that big weight cut. You know, I feel like the sky's the limit for Francimar. He's doing a really good job in the gym. He's taking care of his body. You know, he's also one of those guys that kind of Bas alluded to. Like, I don't have to jump on him. And we have practice. He's there. He's on time. He's prepared. He's ready to go. And again, that goes back to that championship mindset. So this is a organization in PFL that is allowing these guys to set their families up for the future. And if they take it seriously and they do the right things, then this is the sport. This is the organization for them to thrive.
If you had a choice, right? If you had a choice of fighting, so imagine he beats Josh Copeland. Who would you like to fight next? Whether Jack May or Alex Nicholson? If you had a choice.
You know, I actually really like both of those guys. I've spent some time with both of them. You know, I think obviously with Jack and his Muay Thai background, you have a.
I think we lost you.
Well, sir.
We're still see some things. Yeah, we still see some things going on. But at this moment, we lost Francimar Barroso, the trainer of Francimar Barroso, Eric Nixick from Extreme Couture. Hopefully, we can get him back on the team because I was going to ask him about Vinny Magalhaes and how he's doing. And he's preparing for the show on the 13th. That's where the light heavyweights are going to fight.
Vinny has looked amazing. He's got quite the guys under. A lot of grappler heavy men though. You have Lance Palmer, you have Vinny Magalhaes, and you have Francimar Barroso, all guys that are like high level ground guys. So
yeah, and then see Vinny Magalhaes suddenly with Brandon Halsey come with the crazy high kick, right? Splink on his head and then wrapping him up. It's good to see things like that, you know, when fighters start changing their fighting style, and he's looking really good. He's got to be the top seed, right? I don't have it there in front of me, but got 2 first round finishes.
Seed.
Yeah, you see, I mean, he's got all the points, 12 points.
Yeah, he used to be a guy always incredibly dangerous, but the same game plan most guys have against a jiu-jitsu guy: keep it standing and try to kick his head off and knock his head off. Now he makes it scary, mix up the strike, and before you know it, he takes you down. He's on your back. So
the thing, and plus, because when his striking, because if his striking was getting better, now he understands when fighters also have to plant their feet in order to throw power shots. And at that moment, that's the moment he knows now and recognizes, because he's getting better himself, to take the opponent down.
Hit the takedown. As soon as they put their hands up the block, legs are open.
Man, yeah, he's amazing. He looks like he's an incredible athlete. He could have played anything, I think.
Yeah, and he might be walking away with $1 million. And also, Francimar Barroso, 38 years old, might be a great time to come into his prime and be a star.
And I like what Eric Nicholson said. You know, he said, fighting at 205 for a guy like that, you have to cut too much. And I've always been against weight cutting. Now, I fought in open weight at the time, you know, but I would have never dropped too many pounds because, you're beating your body up so bad. Right, every single day, and then to withhold it from all the food it needs and the water, I just always thought that was never a smart idea. So let's just give it. You know, if I beat you up, let's at least give you everything that you're asking for, right?
Yeah, you were ballsy taking on some of those guys that were huge. Randleman, these are monster guys. But you fight better when you don't cut weight.
You know, I was talking about it yesterday or the day before. I had to do this talk for these high school kids, and I was talking about my first fight in Japan. And I thought it was weird that there was no weigh-in the day before. And then on the day of the fight, I figured out that my opponent was the tallest Japanese guy at the time that I saw, 6'3" or 6'4" he was, 245 pounds. I was 203 pounds. So I go, but isn't he too heavy? And they go, no, there's no weight classes. So I'm faking a smile, of course. I go, great, this is awesome. I said, okay, and before you leave, I said, how many rounds are we going to fight? And he says, oh, just one round. So it's one round. Yeah, how many minutes? He goes, 30 minutes, like in half an hour. And again, my fake smile came up. But I look at my coach, and I told him in Dutch what I thought of this situation. And thankfully, it was Dutch, so they couldn't understand it. I go, dude, what did you get me in here? I mean, suddenly you're fighting a guy 43 pounds heavier. If you come from Thai boxing, every like 8 or 10 pounds is a different weight class. So yeah, that was a wake-up call for me. Thankfully, it went well. But to find out on the day of the fight, never a fun thing.
So we had 2 fighters on. We have a coach on. How important is it, these top seeds, to have a coach like Eric Nicholson in your corner and in your training camp?
You know, a good coach is hard to find. And Eric is also one of those guys who's everywhere all the time with his fighters. You know, Sean Tompkins was also like that. Dwayne Ludwig, he's one of those guys also. They if they can, they will be with them cutting weight in the sauna. You know, and once you have that and that investment from a coach who's there, and as a fighter, you start trusting that. And now you start trusting what he says. He already was talking about all the footage that he was checking out for the opponents. You know, once you believe him and you trust him, that's when the real bond seals, so to say. And once that happens, well, you see it, guys, with Dwayne Ludwig, what happens, and with Sean Tompkins also at the time, you know, because then they have a full trust. It becomes a family.
Yeah, it'd be a different world. There's a couple guys, Sean Tompkins. If he was around, the sport could be a lot different.
That would have been great, right? Yeah.
Remarkable.
Way too early.
This is it's such a big opportunity for the PFL to set guys up, because a lot of these fighters just need that extra bit of cash to elevate them to hit that professional status. Like, afford everything, be able to eat the proper foods, do the right rest and recovery, and just live a little more professional status of like being a professional athlete.
Weight cutting, I always seen, most of the time it happens when a fighter loses a few times. And then he blames it not on himself, he blames it on his opponent, because his opponent cut more weight and he was heavier when I was fighting him. I said, no, he was technically better than you. Just say it out there, you know, because once you say it, maybe you should fight a weight class higher. You're going to be stronger. People don't realize that they're actually getting weaker when you cut too much weight. And it's a dangerous thing to do as well.
Yeah, you go through an entire training camp hydrated and fine. And the week of your fight, when you're about to put on your biggest performance, you dehydrate yourself 24 hours before the fight to extreme levels. Some of these guys are doing 18 to 22 pounds, and they're like the guys that cram for tests. They save it till the last 2 days. They're, you talk to them on a Wednesday, I'm 13 over, and like their coach is like, oh, he's good. I'm like, is that good? Like that's still pretty heavy over a weight class.
You know, Sean Tompkins had a guy one time, Muscle Beach. He's hilarious, this guy, and he had to cut a lot of weight. And I remember on the day of the weigh-in, not of the fight, the elevator opens and he stands there and he looks at me. And I'm going to go, what's up, Muscle Beach? You know, I was trying to be nice. And, dude, he gave me a stare. I did not want to get into a fight with him. Although he was 145 pounds.
Thirsty.
But he was hating his life at that moment. And I back up. I go, okay, I'm not going to say anything anymore.
Yeah, how good do you feel? Like how good do you feel when you're dehydrated?
It can be good. You know, I've never been dehydrated. I don't believe. No, actually, I was one time. And that wasn't good. You know what happened? Oh, what a story that is. It's a funny story. So I was doing this, the body action system that I have, that thing that you can punch and kick. I was shooting 2 or 3 workouts for that in the sun, with the sun coming from the top. I hadn't worked out for like 4 months, and I had to do the workouts. I said, I'll just do the workout. I will blow through it, and it's going to be okay. Not thinking, I brought some potassium pills. I ate a lot of bananas. You know, I knew that I was going to be dehydrating. Yep. So I kept going. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to wrap everything up, and then suddenly I started cramping. And the way I started cramping is like the worst thing ever. I couldn't hold a phone. I couldn't do anything. So they told me, so you gotta go to the hospital. So first the doctor told me to get my temperature, and it was really low. It was like in the 96 or something. It was something that the doctor said you have to go to the emergency room right now because you're shutting down. So I'm going to the emergency room, and my wife was on a holiday, so I had to bring my kids to the emergency room. And they put 2 bags on me, and they start IV bags, and they start rehydrating me. And you know, after 2 hours, the bags were gone, and nobody came. And I'm shouting, and nobody came. And suddenly I look at my daughters. I said, I want to go. Because it's like 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. I don't want to stay anymore. So the one thing that you never should do, because I got angry, is just pull the bag out. Don't do that. You have to hold your finger on it before you pull it out. Now, remember, my daughter was sleeping on a blanket in that room, and I sprayed the entire room full with blood. Like, it sprayed everywhere. And I make up my daughter. I say, honey, we got to run now. We got to run out of the hospital.
It's a crime scene.
It was a crime scene.
It's funny that your story about being dehydrated is not even part of your fight career. It's when you're shooting promo videos for your body action.
For my body action system, out of shape.
Way after the fight career. Yeah. Who has impressed you the most out of the entire PFL roster?
You know, that's so very hard. That's such a hard question. I mean, Calvin Tiller, I'm very impressed with him, because his athleticism for a big guy like that was amazing. When he took Rochelle down, you know, and then he went from side mount to a 180 armbar. Okay, he didn't have it. I mean, but the way he did it and the speed he did it, I was very amazed with that. But then, of course, you got guys like Steven Seiler, right? He's behind, and he get hit, and he get hits, and he hits, and then boom, pulls off a miracle victory. And then it happens again. You know, this is like the comeback kid. I love that guy. He's so honest, and it's so funny, and I always talk about it. Imagine you're on the street, you know, and some bad guys, you know, you say, hey, let's pick a fight with him. You know, he seems like an easy victim, you know. And then, you know, it's like
someone you'd bully if you were a bully.
And like Chris Horodecki. Remember Chris Horodecki also?
The IFL legend.
He was doing insane there. But you see, that's what I like about Steven Seiler. He's never out of the fight. The last time also when he got hit, the referee wanted to stop it, but he's giving the thumbs up, literally talking to the referee, saying, I'm okay. And that's why they didn't stop it. And then he slapped Sonny on a triangle choke. So it was really a very impressive way of winning a fight. But then you got Alexandre Almeida and Becerra with the flying knee, and the way he was adjusting against his last opponent. You know, it suddenly switched his whole fighting style during the fight, and then he started countering the counters. You know, that's next level stuff. That's, you know, for a fighter to start doing that. And it was almost like he was setting him up. I believe it was against Idrisov. He was setting him up the whole first 2 minutes, and suddenly you saw him making a change, and then boom.
Pounced immediately. He pounced on the prey.
Amazing. Lance Palmer, of course. Max Koga coming from Germany. I love that, because it's very hard to find good fighters from Europe, and especially fighters who can finish fights by knockout and by submission. And he has that equal record, you know, like 7-7 knockouts, submissions. I don't know what it is out of the top of my head, but I really enjoy that when I see a record like that from a fighter. But everybody right now in the playoffs, I'm very impressed with, because they went through some stuff.
So $1 million, what does that mean to fighters? Like, how does that change their lives? What does this $1 million prize thing do to the sport of mixed martial arts too?
It's a big thing. I think a lot of fighters, I've been talking to Ray, everybody's calling. Everybody wants to go to the next season. The next season we're already on. You know, the money is already there. We're going to have a second season that's going to come out. So because people really are gravitating towards this concept, you know, the playoffs, you know, having a league, having a season. I think it's really good for the fighters as well, because they fight so many times in a short amount of time. And, you know, if you're not injured, why wouldn't you fight so many times? But then the payoff to $1 million, that's a great motivator. I mean, if you're a fighter for another organization, you make 10 and 10 and 15 and 15, you know, that means $15,000 to show up. And then if you win, you get another $15,000. You know, if you have that kind of money and suddenly they throw $1 million at you, yeah, that's going to change some lives.
It's an immense amount of money. I remember me and Eve Edwards were talking about like we pulled up the UFC salary, career salary for fighters. There's only like 100 guys that have made $1 million in their entire career. Like Nick Diaz just recently broke the $1 million threshold. So it's like you have all these guys that have had these long careers, and PFL is going to hook these guys up early, and it's immense.
And he made those $1 million. Those guys made those $1 million over a few fights.
He had to fight George St. Pierre. He had to fight Anderson Silva.
And the problem is because
Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, but once you fight, you know, you're spending the money as well.
Immediately.
You know, so you don't have the $1 million anymore. These guys going to get $1 million. You know,
they're going to open their bank app and be like, huh. That's nice.
It's what Todd Harris said. You know, we're going to have 7 millionaires walking on the street in New York on December 31st.
With me and Bas walking behind them, like, where are we going next, guys?
Yes, 10%. I'll be their security.
I'll take 0.03%. I'm fine with the small amount. Well, that's the PFL.
That was the PFL for today. That's amazing. That goes fast. But I'm looking so much forward to do 3 weeks in a row. That's for us, it's 2. You know, the fighters, they fight every month. Guess what, guys? We do 3 shows in a row, huh? What about that? Look at that. Look at our scars and cutting weight and all that stuff. I got to get a tan before I go on TV. People don't realize that stuff.
Spray tan or real tan?
You know, no, I do real tan.
Okay.
Spray tan, that, you know, once you have to wear a tux or something, you don't know want to do spray tan. I have to remember, I lost my suit a bunch of times now. So now the joke all the time, everybody goes, did you have your suit? Did you bring your suit? First time I left it on the plane. Second time, literally, I'm driving to the airport and I'm looking at my Uber driver. I go, Mark, yeah, we can't go back, but I left my suit at home.
I just want to tell someone. I just want to say it out loud.
So I called my wife and I said, you got to send it, you know, FedEx it overnight. But that was the moment when there was that big storm going on. So the next day I didn't have it. Then on the day of the fight, thankfully in the morning it came. But the day before already, I went to the store. I fit a whole suit. I said, put it to the side. If I'm not here tomorrow before noon, you can put it away again. But if I'm here before, that means my suit didn't arrive. And while I walked out of the hotel, it literally came in.
That's your life.
That's my life all the time.
Well, that's it for the PFL Weekly. It's been a great show.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to hear these guys. I'm really looking forward to the fight now. Jack May and Alex Nicholson. I mean, rewind it, listen a little bit more to what they were saying to each other. That long and tall and lengthy guy, he didn't like that comment, right? Tall and lengthy. What's wrong with tall and lengthy? There's not really anything wrong with that.
You're 6'8".
Yeah.
You're 6'8".
You're tall. You got a long length.
It's not like an insult.
Yeah, but you know, I was thinking real fast before we go. I was thinking about this fight because you're thinking, okay, so for Nicholson, it's smart to fight in close in, right? Because close, he will be stronger. But if you look at their reaches are identical. Only the height is not identical. So, but that means that even if he stands closer to him, he won't have more power because the reach in the arms are exactly the same.
Yep.
So I wonder how he's going to overcome that. But that's it. You want to wrap it up? I wrap it up.
That's the show. I'm Andrew Montanez. This
Bas
is
Rutten.
Exactly.
Godspeed, party on, keep listening, keep coming back. Next week we're here again and keep watching. This is very important. NBC, check it out. And of course, Facebook Watch before everything starts. I think we're going to have the first fight of the guys is on Facebook Watch. And then later on, their second fight, the 3-round fight, it's going to be on NBCSN.
Yep, October 5th. Set your calendars, your reminders, however you remember stuff. Check it out.
You should see my calendar. I got a lot of appointments in there. I do like 3 alarms, otherwise I forget it. My wife drives her nuts because she has hold of my calendar as well. She says, why do you do this all the time? It has nothing to do. This is not going to gain anything with you guys at home, right? No, nothing at all. I'm going to stop right now. All right, take care. Godspeed.